Hello, it's Shirley Ross, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and this is Design Space Friday. And today we are going to play with how to make a print then cut. And we're going to start with 3 images. So this is what it's going to end up looking like. I'm going to slide that out of the way a little bit so you can see it a little bit while we're working on the other parts. So I've got the images that I used already, the numbers already, so I can just type them in. For those who don't know, there is a number that corresponds with each of the images in Design Space. First one is the Merry Christmas. I'm going to put it in the queue. It's down here, so it's ready to go, and I'm going to put in the next one. And once they're all in the queue, I can put them on all at once. That's just something I really like, so you don't have to look one up, put it on the mat or on the canvas, and then go and search again. You can do all your searching at one time and just queue them all up. Trying to make sure I get the numbers right. That's it. Those are the 3. So they're down. All I have to do now is add them to the canvas. Now, if you're working with an iPhone or an iPad, I believe you just add them as you go along. I'll have to verify that. I have not done that in a while. I do play a lot on my phone now. It will take a few minutes for these all to come in. And for another little just restatement from my last one, my last Design Space Friday, this asterisk means that this project that I'm working on has not been saved. I really kind of like that it reminds you that you haven't saved it before you run off and do something else. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller so you can see everything on the screen. Now, when they come in as a group. So you want to deselect everything, and we are going to start with the Merry Christmas. So I'm going to move the ornaments out of the way, and I'm going to move the Christmas tree out of the way. So the first thing I want to do is to get rid of those stars. As you can see, there's 2 layers. This is a grouped file. I want to get rid of the stars, so I can just click on that and hit delete, and they're gone. The next step that I want is I wanted it to pop off. I knew I was going to do several layers. I wanted the Merry Christmas to really pop. Plus, I wanted something to attach the ornaments to. So we're going to start with an offset for just the Merry Christmas. And I want a small offset. So I'm going to, I think it was like 0.97 is what I chose. It's going to take a few minutes for it to, and you can see it's just a really thin line. Now, if you want to go even smaller, you can. I think over here it was a lot smaller. I'm going to wait. There we go. Yeah, I think I like that one better. Now I'm going to apply. And if you've played with offset, you know it always comes in black, and it's always the item that is selected and not what you offset. So those are not selected together. You are just playing with the offset. So I want to actually click on. And of course, I clicked on the wrong thing. So I will come over here, and now I did. I just clicked on the Merry Christmas because I want to move it out of the way, and I want to bring in the ornaments because I want the ornaments to be attached only to the offset. You can make them smaller. I kind of think these are a little bigger than the ones in the title, but I kind of like the way it looks, and you can see it overlaps on the letters. I like that. You want to just, I'm going to move it up just a little bit more just to be sure. Now I'm going to come and I'm going to select both the ornament and the offset, and using the combine, I'm going to weld. And once that is complete, I am going to bring back over the Merry Christmas, and I'm going to bring it to the front. So we're going to arrange it, bring it to the front. Make sure sometimes when you do things with an image that changes the size, but that worked out perfect. It still sits in the Merry Christmas red fits in perfectly. Okay, so now I'm going to select both of those. I'm going to go ahead and group them just in case something happens. This way now there's still two separate images, but you can size them together. And now we are going to bring over the Christmas tree. I'm going to move these down. And again, I like to look for that little plus sign in the middle to move. That just sometimes when you're grabbing it somewhere, you can actually resize it by accident. And let me move this one down. And that gets aggravating. So now I want to grab just the Christmas tree, and I'm going to size it so it sits behind the Merry Christmas. And you know what? I change them every time I do one. I'm going to move it down so it actually sits atop that H. I kind of like that. All right, now we're not going to do any changes to the Christmas tree. We are just going to now select all of those. So you can see we have the grouped images of the Merry Christmas and the ornaments and offset weld and the Christmas tree. And we are going to offset it again. Now it's coming in with the same offset that I had before. So I'm going to let that finish just a minute. The more items that I play with, the longer it's going to take. That's just the way Design Space works, especially when I'm doing my recording. So please be patient for just a moment as it sets up the offset. Any minute now, it will be done. And I am using the curved offset. You can use a sharper line when you're doing the offset to get square corners instead of circular corners. Now I want to make this one a little bit bigger. As you can see in the sample. I like that. And I'm going to apply. And I'm going to change the color to white because that's the color I want it to be. Now I could go into contour and contour out these pieces, but because I'm going to do another offset, I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to grab it again and do the final offset. And this one will probably keep it about the same size, maybe a little smaller than the last one. One of the reasons I like to do an outer offset is I find white does not always show up when you go to do the print then cut. Sometimes a white offset will disappear. All right, I like that one. I did something crazy here. As always, let's see. Let's undo. All right, there we go. All right, let's go back and I want to select the offset. There we go. Make it white. I think it skipped a space there. It did. All right, so let's do this again. I'm just going to click on the other offset, the white one, and do offset again. Sometimes Design Space does not play fun, and you have to just undo. And I will share periodically when I'm doing a lot of steps, if I get to a point, it's disappearing that other offset, and I don't understand why. So what I'm going to do is, instead of trying to do it again, I'm going to quickly just save. Sometimes I find if I save, it will stop acting up, but we're going to find out. Okay. Now we'll go back to the offset. Now let's try it one more time. So as you can see, just like with you, there are times when it just doesn't work the way you think it's going to work. And I try to just be patient. Design Space is like a little 2-year-old. It's in the learning process as they keep making changes. Okay, now let's see if it will work. I just want it a little bit smaller. There we go. And I'm going to apply it. And you see how by saving it, it now worked. And so that is my final image. Again, I'm going to first select everything, because otherwise I would have just moved that offset. And if you want, you can group them. All right. And then I'm going to move it down so you can see. All right. Now I'm going to size it, because usually this is going to be for a title. And I don't think I want it much larger than a 6. 6 by 5 is good. You could do whatever you wish. That is totally up to you. I'm just going to move it down again. And now what we're going to do is we're going to flatten. Flatten is what takes a multi-layered image and creates a print then cut. And now it is flattened. And you'll see there's just one image. And now it will print. I will hit make so that you can see what it will look like when it goes. Now I have 2 of them on here, so it'll show me 2 mats. I don't think they'll both fit on one, but they might. You never know until you do and a lot of times when I'm doing a print then cut, I will size it based on how many I might like to get on a printable area. All right. And there you go. Now these lines are going to be what the scanner part of the Cricut looks for before it cuts it out. And then it will cut it. As you can see over here, I know it's got the lines around it, but that's just because it's selected. If I click over here, you don't see those lines. Now everything has to be within these this red boundary. So if it's bigger than that, then it will tell you it won't fit. So that's what it'll look like. You'll print it on your printer first, and then you will put this in the upper left hand, the paper that you cut. And I do cut on 8.5 by 11 cardstock. My printer does really well with that. You might want to test your printer to see, and you have to make sure you calibrate your printer, and that allows it to be able to read these lines and cut the image out perfectly. So I'm going to cancel that because we're not going to do that part of it. Now, the other thing that you might want to think about too is before you do any of the flattening, you might want to check the colors of your paper that you're using, because you can change the colors. So if we unflatten this, which is awesome, it can be unflattened. All right, we come here. We could take and change the color of the word Mary by clicking up here. So if your paper is more of a red, then it is that kind of deeper scarlet color. Or if you want to change the color of the tree to a more green color, let's do a lighter one, and just so you could do that. And that way, you know, when it prints, it's going to match as close as possible to your paper. Now remember, you can always use the advance and change it here so that you have a little bit more options as far as the colors go. If you know the colors, all colors that are printable have a number too, just like everything in life seems to have a number. If you know your RGB number, then you can use that and get the exact colors. So this is how you make a multiple layered image into a print then cut, so that you can create something that doesn't have to be paper pieced. I hope you have enjoyed the Design Space Friday. Thank you again. This is Shirley Ross, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Bye.